So according to the Christian Post, a Christian doctor challenges an order banning him from saving babies. So I have to sidebar for just a moment and say this is the reason I do this show, is stories like this seem almost unbelievable. And the average person does not know that this kind of stuff is going on. While we here in the States are coming up with ridiculous slogans like "My Body, My Choice," there are women who are actually trying to save their babies, and doctors are being banned from doing so because the abortion lobby is so incredibly radical around the world and in our own borders. And then we have pastors who step back and say, oh, well, you don't have to be political, or to be pro-life, you don't need to be political, and you can vote any way that your conscience leads you. And the reality is while we would all agree that Jesus is neither Republican nor Democrat, the life of babies depends upon whatever tool is at your disposal. That freedom of conscience gives way to the reality of truth and Scripture. And Scripture demands that we take a proactive approach to this kind of stuff. And when we see stories like this, I am hoping that we are not so used to sticking our head in the sand that we have become accustomed to the darkness, but that we can actually open our eyes and see the light. So let's jump into this disgusting story. So a high court in the UK is scheduled to hear the case of a Christian doctor who has been banned from providing life-saving treatment for unborn babies. The doctor is asking the court to revoke the order by medical regulator. On Thursday, the Royal Courts of Justice will hear the case of Dr. Dermot Kearney, a former president of the Catholic Medical Association who works for Britain's National Health Service. So already there you can see that this guy is well reputed and works for the National Health Service, so he's not like some quack. But it goes on to say that it said the Christian Legal Center, which is supporting the doctor, last May, an interim orders tribunal blocked Kearney from providing emergency abortion pill reversal treatment for up to 18 months after the abortion provider MSI Reproductive Choices UK, previously known as Marie Stopes International, filed a complaint to the General Medical Council, the Daily Mail reported. Okay, so we got to just stop right there and just say, all right, so what he's doing is he has, along with other doctors, developed an approach for trying to reverse the abortion pill's effects. Now, it'll go on and tell us that the way that they do this is by administering some hormones, progesterone, to a pregnant woman, and it has been proven to actually be relatively effective to try to help save the life of the baby. But of course, this radical organization is coming behind this doctor who is aiding these patients, these women who want to reverse the abortion pill's effects once they have second thoughts about this. This radical activist organization is coming behind this doctor and trying to file a complaint against him for doing this. Why? Not because they have some medical concerns, or if they do, they're just thrown up there as a smokescreen from their actual, real, vile, devilish agenda, which is to make sure that abortion is free, legal, and capable at any term of a person's pregnancy. So why would MSI, this reproductive, supposedly, choice organization, want to stop this doctor from performing this procedure? Well, it goes on to say the abortion provider claimed in the complaint that Dr. Kearney prescribed a treatment that has no evidence for base. Now, we have to stop right there. So their problem is not that it has negative effects, but that they're saying that this hormone has no evidence to work. Now, why would they care? Let's think about this for a minute. We don't even need Jeopardy music because it will take you all of about 2 seconds to come up with the conclusion. They don't want it to work, so why would they care if it works? Well, the answer is they don't. The real answer is don't fall for the lies, don't fall for the nonsense medical assertion here. What they actually want to do is they want to insist upon the right of an individual to have an abortion, and they will not allow for anybody to undermine that right, even if it is against the rights of women who are saying, I have second thoughts, I have doubts, I want to keep my baby after all. Is there anything we can do to reverse the decision I just made? Well, this doctor is going in and offering this treatment that supposedly has no evidence of working, when, again, these guys don't care if it works. They want it not to work. They want the babies to be aborted. So it's a false claim, suffice to say. Now, I say this all because I hope we're really, really careful when we read things. So it's one thing to say this is a risky procedure. It's another thing to say this could risk the mother's life, right? This is the one thing we quote here in the States very often, rape and incest. But of course, that's not what we're talking about here, even though we don't have to give in to that ground either, because it's never the baby's fault when a mother is raped or there's incest involved. It's never the baby's fault. And so we don't have to charge the baby with a crime by murdering it. And so back to the point here is this story continues to go on. Sue Turner, director of Physicians for Life, told the Christian Post in an earlier interview that if a pregnant woman who has taken the first 2 abortion pills decides she's made a mistake and wants to have her baby, she would have a relatively high chance of delivering a healthy baby if she wanted to undergo reversal. Now, counter evidence actually being provided from the false claim that we don't know if it works. Now we have counter evidence being provided that it actually has a high likelihood of working. So not only is the initial claim of MSI, who wants to stop this doctor from saving babies, totally erroneous and ridiculous, the opposite is actually true, and it states here what is the likelihood of this actually working. Well, of course, it's way too high for MSI to stand by and idly watch. Because according to the Christian Post, its quote says, Turner cited a U.S. study showing 64 to 68% success rate of delivering a healthy baby after a woman has been given the natural hormone progesterone that's essential to maintaining a healthy pregnancy. So not only is this hormone effective and works in reversing the abortion pill, but it actually is an essential hormone in healthy pregnancies. So it's actually very good for pregnant women. But here is the real point at the end of the day. This isn't honest. MSI is not operating with even the smallest vestige or veneer of honesty, because the follow the science crowd doesn't care about the truth. They care about their agenda. Because the story goes on to say one last thing that I think is important for you to hear. MSI Reproductive Choices UK used the testimony of a woman, a mother in her 40s who has not been identified by the Daily Mail, who had sought help from Kearney after she started a pills by post abortion, but then changed her mind. However, progesterone failed to work, and she suffered a miscarriage the day after taking the abortion pill. The woman now says that she felt MSI had twisted her experience with Kearney to suit its complaint and felt pressured to criticize him. So once again, we have to be careful of the follow the science crowd who wishes merely to use science as a cudgel to twist it around and to make it say whatever they want it to say rather than to actually tell the truth. When there's an agenda behind this, it is clear that follow the science is merely a propagandistic tool to make people shut up and to make people blind to the fact that there are counterfactuals that need to be considered in all of these things. But you're not going to get that from the mainstream media today. You're certainly not going to get it from legacy journalism. What they're going to do is they're going to merely paint the picture that they want you to know. And in the process, it really is costing lives, but in the reverse way that you think, because this is always the arm twist of the left, is that if you don't social distance, if you don't wear that cloth mask, it's going to cost lives. Well, in the meantime, we know for a fact that what the left does in the abortion lobby is costing lives, but they don't want to talk about that. Why? Because they're not the follow the science crowd. They're the follow the propaganda and agenda crowd. You can catch brand new episodes of Indie Thinker with Reed Huberman every Monday and weekly bonus episodes to keep you thinking throughout the week. But you have to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new episodes drop. If you enjoy this content, make sure to like this video and share it with friends.